Sorry for translation. Hello. On behalf of the Fasasi Youth Foundation, I warmly welcome you all to Module 9 of the Government 360 Roots2Leadership Foundation program. My name is Sunday Ogedengbe, and I have the privilege of serving as your moderator for today's section. So, a quick one. If you have not filled the pre-test, please quickly go back to the WhatsApp group and fill your pre-text form while others will join us. Then before they join us, I think we need to have a little discussion what what we have done so far from this training. So I'll go with this question this morning. One word challenge for what we have this morning. Please, can you guys hear me? Please, if you can hear me, I want to see your reactions. If you can, okay. Okay, thank you, Abu. Thank you, Tini. Thank you, Farouk. Thank you, Abubakar. Thank you, guys. Okay. So this will be an interactive section before the facilitator, our faculty member, will join us for today's training. So the first challenge this morning, what comes to your mind? The first question, what comes to your mind when you hear the word accountability? Please, I want someone to unmute your mic and answer, please. What comes to your mind when you hear the word accountability? Hello, guys. So can anyone hear me and reply to that question? What comes to your mind when you hear the word accountability?
Hello.
Yes, okay, Farouk. Okay, I'm listening. We are
Yes,
listening.
good,
And go
good
ahead.
morning.
Good morning,
Okay,
Farouk. We are
good
listening.
morning.
Yeah, Farouk, we are
Thank you.
listening.
Yes, and we are humbly, sincerely apologizing over the some attitude or the behavior of some of us. Maybe due to the works and the Friday's day. Usually, it used to come with touch schedules. It is very short day like this. So, on their behalf and or on our own behalf, please, we are apologizing over what we are doing, our misconduct, particularly to the Mr. Kusasi and the general committee or the team members of the Sasio Foundation. Regarding the accountability, so whenever I heard this word accountability, what is usually comes to my mind is about the obligations to accept responsibility for action, decisions, and the outcomes. Hello?
I'm with you. You can go ahead, sir. You can go on.
Yes. Once accountability is coming, just what it usually comes to my mind is about responsibility. So
Okay.
anybody that is responsible for accountability must take responsibility owning to a particular task. When you are being given a particular duty or responsibility, you must sure that yes, you are ready for that responsibility. And you must be answerable to that responsibility. You have to justify the responsibility in actions and in your decisions. Then also once accountability is mentioned, transparency is there. You must be open. Everything you are to doing, you have to do it openly. And also the consequences that you have to accept the result, the outcomes from the society or from the group or the organizations you are working with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a good one, Farouk. That is very good. I can see other persons raising up their hand that has, if you have any other opinion or any other contribution to what Farouk just said, can you please unmute your mic and the floor is open to you. Can you guys hear me? Khadija, Kuchi, Abubakar, Edigo.
Yes, I can hear you.
So we have to the question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word accountability? Can you hear me? Edibu, that question is for you. What comes to your mind? I want you to answer this question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word
The word
accountability?
accountability.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For
Good
me,
morning.
what comes to my mind when I hear the word accountability is taking responsibility for your action. For every decision you make, for every action you take, you should be able to take responsibility for it. That's what comes to my mind when I hear the word accountability.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very
That's a
much. That's
brilliant.
brilliant.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Good for the
Mr. Ogedengbe, you're having background noise at your end.
background noise.
Yes, kind of background noise.
Is it clear now? Is it okay now?
It seems the network is not stable at your end. You can try to move to another location.
Yeah, I just changed the station now. Is there still background noise? Hello?
Sounding as if you're apart from your device.
Can, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. As some of the fellows were answering the question I asked, our faculty officer just joined the call. Please,
You can proceed.
good morning, sir. That is correct way. So I'll go right away to introduce our facilitator for this session this morning. Just a minute, guys. While I share my screen to introduce our facilitator for this training this morning. Is it my network or network from the other end? It seems they're struggling.
We can hear you loud and clear. And excuse me, sir.
Is it me that you can hear or the person presenting?
We can actually
Hello?
hear you talking at the moment. The person presenting, I can't really hear the person
Okay, so I just
presenting.
want you to know that people are not hearing me.
Okay, can you all hear me now? Sorry, it was my network.
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
a
thank
glitch
you
from your
very
end.
much. Yeah, so sorry for the inconveniences. So please join me as I read the profile of our facilitator this morning before uh, we leave the floor open to him. Mr. Afolabi Kamaldeen Kolawole is a public health expert, development practitioner, researcher, and humanitarian leader with over a decade of experience in health systems, strengthening community development, and social impact programming. He is the founder and co-director of the Foundation for Integrated Care, FIC, a non-profit organization dedicated to improving health outcomes and advancing sustainable development among vulnerable populations in Nigeria. He holds a Bachelor of Technology degree in physiology from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology and has completed postgraduate studies in drug and substance abuse prevention, rehabilitative care, and disaster risk management. His expertise spans public health, monitoring and evaluation, that's M&E, research, disability inclusion, youth development, and humanitarian response. Through FIC, Mr. Afolabi has led impactful initiatives in maternal and child care, youth empowerment, WASH, and cancer prevention. Youth empowerment, WASH, cancer prevention, and community health promotion, reaching thousands of beneficiaries across Nigeria. He has also provided technical support to developmental projects in project design, research, data analysis, grant development, and policy advocacy. Mr. Kamaldeen is driven by a passion for equitable healthcare and sustainable development. Mr. Afolabi continues to champion innovative, inclusive, and community-driven solutions that improve lives and strengthen communities across Nigeria and beyond. With a clapping ovation, with a clapping emoji, please join me as I welcome Mr. Kamaldeen to take the floor this morning for our training. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us, Mr. Kamaldeen. The floor is yours, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As earlier mentioned, my name is Afolabi, and I'll be taking you this session today just for us to interact and share knowledge around local governance, the use of data, and evidence-driven activities. And I'm pretty sure that majority of us on call, we are all young people trying to add values to the existing activities and upcoming activities of the government, and which it's a good one for the organization and commendable. for such organization like and as well contributes to the emerging strength that is needed for development within the country. And I've been welcome you all, and I'm happy to be in our midst today to have this conversation. I want to be sure that people can hear me. Oh, my network is, yes, okay, thank you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, so based on how I operate while taking this such class or maybe session, I try to make it very interactive, just so that we all contribute. I know some of us have been doing one or two things on field before, and definitely this is an avenue for us to either validate those things that we've known, or validation of those things that we've known. Likewise, maybe we have the to add to our knowledge. And congratulations for all of you for being selected to be part of the Roots2Leadership Fellowship. Yeah, and this is commendable for Focus Youth Foundation and even the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund that has funded the program. We look forward to more of this and to be able to provide more avenue for young people to be strengthened, equipped, and prepared for the journey of local governance within the country. So this session will be guided by this content that we have here. Introduction, we set the objective, and the discussion will be around why data evidence matter, evidence-based local governance, pieces of data, how data strengthen accountability, some practical example. And through that, all of us will now talk and interact on what we think are the solutions and the challenges we are likely to face while trying to do something of this nature, and then we go into the Q&A. So I would love to meet with all of us. Who are we? By name. What are you doing currently? What are your expectations? I don't know, maybe likes and dislikes will work. I think this format is something I use for physical training. So maybe you can limit it to the 3, and if you still want to tell us your likes and dislikes, fine. So I know we have around 14 persons on call. Anyone that is not willing to unmute and speak can put it in the chat box. Anybody that feel comfortable to speak can just unmute and come online. Mention your name, what's your present occupation and engagement. Even if you are not occupied, be glad to talk about what you do on your freelance and your expectation from the training. If you want to add us, if you want to know your likes and dislikes, we're happy to know that. If not, you can put that aside. Thank you. So I've seen Olorun, I think if I get it right. Olorun, yes. Mustafa, you want to go first?
Okay. Good morning. I don't know if I'm clearly heard.
Yes,
So,
yes,
am
I
I
can hear you
clearly
very,
heard?
very clear.
Perfect.
Yes, I can hear you very well. Yeah.
Perfect. A wonderful morning to the beautiful organization and its facilitators, and I want to say a beautiful thanks and appreciation to you, Mr. Afolabi, for taking it out of your time to reach out to us with this blissful moment and this beautiful information to be shared. Well, I go by the name Habal Dr. Mustafa Moreni Keji Olunwoyin, and upon looking at this, should I say, the topic of today, it actually moved me like sincerely. I would come to that later. So coming to the present occupation or engagement, currently a herbal doctor running my company in terms of herbal medication, and also the deputy CEO of another herbal company, which we are also building. And apart from that, we are also furthering our education in the aspect of animal science. So that is apart from herbal medication, we are moving to herbal animal science to also study herbal medications on a professional level and global level to see how it could impact animals and what have you. So our expectation from the training now, let me now come back to where I said earlier in terms of me seeing the topic. Now, my expectation from this particular training is to be able to pull from the vast amount of data available in the live stream of the internet and the web, and to be able to draft out certain policies and be able to curb and solve and contain certain obstacles that are within currently and those that are yet to be provided subsequently. So this would be one of my core um, um, expectation from this particular training, and I am really fully and 100% available for the training from the beginning to the end. And coming to my likes and dislikes, well, I would say that the foundation has been doing a wonderful job, throughout the beginning of the session up to this particular time. And I want to say a wonderful thanks to the facilitators and every other persons. My personal likes and dislikes will be left aside, but I would say that this is me, and this is what I'm looking forward to from the foundation. And once again, the facilitator, we want to say a very big thank you to you for giving us the youth the strength that you had, and for being there for us. Thank you very much once again, and the Lord will be our strength. Amen.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, and good to know that we tried you medical. I hope that's
Can you come again,
correct.
sir?
Correct medical personnel among us here as well. Yeah. Well
Exactly,
done.
sir.
I said, good to know that we have a medical. And now ask that, is that a good use of English? Is that yeah? All right. So who wants to go next?
Yes, of course, please. Yes, of course.
What will I call name? We have John Adeleke here. We have Edigo, Farouk Muhammad, Ogu Abubakar. Please, can we do the intro? If you are not willing to speak, can you put in the chat box? Please go ahead, please.
Eddie is up now. You can please talk.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Uda Teresa Idigo, and I am currently working on sustainable farming. We're trying to do soilless farming using abandoned things like rice hulls, cocoa pits to grow things in order to prevent too much waste and also to promote and provide available food options for people in our locality. I work at Amedi, Agricultural Manufacturing Equipment and Development Institute, where we grow bell peppers, tomatoes, and the likes. If you come there, you see that we've built our greenhouses, and we are working mostly on soilless farming, and we are trying to just make sure we have like a sustainable environment that our farming will not affect our environment and our health in general. And I joined this this foundation because I wanted to learn how to interact with people in my locality as a whole, to be able to be a good leader and to take responsibility for my actions and to be accountable. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, and that's thoughtful. Any other person that wish to speak? John Adeleke. Let me change the list. Khadija Abu, Kuchi Godwin, Abubakar, Eunice, Reddy, Friday. So another person. So I think we have exhausted our time on the introduction. We can move to the next discussion. Um, so the objective here, which I've tried to touch on earlier on, we are just trying to ensure that participants understand the role of data and evidence in strengthening accountability and improve decision making in local governance. We build participants' capacity to have basic, this a 1 hour class might not be able to, have in-depth just analyze and understand what data is used for effective planning, promote evidence decision making, adhere to improve transparency, resource allocation, and strengthen collaboration among stakeholders to institutionalize the use of data evidence. So those are the few objectives of this workshop. So let's go to some of this discussion. This is a slide talking about local governance and accountability. So what I have here is the system through which local governments plan, deliver, and manage public services in partnership with citizens and other stakeholders. So there is, most of us knows what local government is all about. Even if we don't know, we understand that every local government have their own local government authority, LGA, in every state, and we have 774 local government in Nigeria. What we have the upper tier, which is the 36 states plus FCT, and then we have 6 regional distribution as the geopolitical distribution within the country. So to ascertain that all of us will be able to connect very well when it comes to the issue of local governance, can anyone else tell me within the team, what are the agencies or existing structures of local governments within your, what are you saying that is local governments? Maybe just use that word. Okay, there is this local government. There are even those to some local government, there are basic things, there are basic amenities, there are basic provisions that they need to manage within the local government. So what are those particular things that some of you feel and see your community, and you know that the expression of local government here? Yeah. Who wants to help us? Let's make it so interactive so that we flow well, very well. Yeah. So what are those things in your community? I'm tempted to say one, but let me just see, maybe team members will start that. Yeah. Hello?
Yes, can I go on, sir?
Yes, please go on. Please go on.
Okay, if I could get you right, you're referring to what are those amenities within the area that we know that shows us that we have a local government authority. Is that what you're trying to say, sir?
Yeah. It could be amenities, it could be offices, it could be infrastructure. It could be that is occurring within the locality. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now we have things that has to do with the local government secretariat. We have
Yes.
things that has to do with the government house. We have things that has to do with the high courts. We have some things that has to do with the immigration offices. We have things that has to do with
Yes.
fire service, and many more of that nature. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we have courts, we have schools, we have the secondary schools, the primary schools in the community, we have the primary health care. Thank you for that, and well done, thank you. And so, since you know that all these things are under the government, and you have the federal, you have the state, so the local governments manage most of all this is by design. I know many of us have reservation as regards how things are being run, but that's not where we are going. Let's talk about what they are meant to do. They are meant to administer the local. They are meant to even administer the traditional authority in the community, the traditional agency in the community. So it comes in the form that the local government, the local authority in that place, they are in charge of the local government system, the schools, the primary health care center, the court, the park system, transport system in that local community, revenue generation in that local community, and the likes. So the process of setting up a system to administer all these things, to ensure accountability, to ensure reporting system, to ensure judiciary compliance, to ensure we are maximizing the opportunity coming from this is all around what we're talking about when it comes to local governance. Deployment of staff, managing the duty roster across the entire entities that we have mentioned, all about the local governance. And even administering the citizen and responding to citizen needs, like some things are quite spontaneous. They are not things that like, for instance, if you have security issues in a local government, calling on the security meeting, trying to think of strategies, having routine engagement with different social political groups within the community, ensuring stability, peace and stability in the community, and ensuring people go on with their day-to-day activities peacefully. That's part of the local governance. Now, if you now look at the second thing, the dragon, we have the accountability. Doing your local governance does not mean you are accountable. Doing your thing, daily routine activity, does not mean that you are accountable. How are we going to know if you are accountable? In the course of accountability, you must be what? You must be responsible. You must be responsible. You must be transparent. You must make good use of the public resources, answering the fundamental needs and the question of why you occupy that position. That is when accountability comes in. Ensuring that you fulfill your job description as a public office holder, and be ready to be accountable to the masses that you are serving. That is when the accountability comes in. As the chairman of a local government, you have your own JD, you have your own job description. The councillor, they have their own job description. The civil servant with local governance system, the DFAs, Director of Finance, Director of Administration, the liaison officers of different programs, focal person of different programs, the directors of public health, directors of public administration, the director of the DPM, personnel management, and the likes. They have their own work. They have their own things to do. And all of you ensuring you fulfill that particular role given to you. And you are able to report. You are able to answer fundamental questions around most of all these things that you are doing. That is the accountability. Subjecting yourself for the right work that you need to do, maximizing proper use of the public resources entrusted to you, and ensuring that the dividends of masses, what is required for the masses, go to them. That is the accountability we're talking about. You are accountable to subject yourself to what is required to give your community the best of everything that they need through the local governance, through the system that you are employed for, and through what you have been saddled, the responsibility you have been saddled to fulfill. So we are not talking here, why does it even matter? Number one, it promotes accountability and public trust. Yeah, and you'll be more accountable and public trust in what you do. Reduce waste and corruption. Yes, when you're accountable, it actually reduces waste and corruption. Encouraging citizen banking, yeah. Improve planning and budgeting and service delivery. Yes, it ensures that you plan very well. It makes you maximize the opportunity and what you have, ensure project delivery, accountability or accountable local governance and better public projects. If you don't have information, if you don't have enough information, if you don't have rational answer of what was done, if you cannot quantify fault, if you cannot go deep dive and be able to quantify some of those things they've done, you cannot ascertain if you are accountable or not. You cannot ascertain the extent of your accountability or the achievement that you've gotten from that public project that you are handling. So this is just an introductory slide talking around the local governance. And so to me and you, let's talk about what do you think, when it comes to you to say evidence-based local governance, what does it mean to you? When you say evidence-based, governing my people based on evidence, what does it mean to you? And when you're answering this, you can give an example of the scenario. Yeah, anything, member?
Okay, can I get to respond now, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, what you've mentioned is what is evidence-based local governance? What does it
Yeah.
mean to us? From my
Yes.
perspective, it actually looks like what it means here is from the word evidence-based, meaning factual information, not based on speculation. Local governance. Now, local means, things has to do with the immediate environment and functions and features has to do with local environment. Then the governance, that means overseeing these functions, these features, these processes. So what it means is, using factual information to govern or to oversee, certain activities, processes, features, that is going on within the environment and the society at large. So you said we should cite an example here. Now, an example I'm going to cite here is something that's happened currently recently, and it's currently even ongoing, which is the restructuring of the road we have in our society, in our environment here. So we have a lot of bulldozers, a lot of excavators coming in, clearing the road, working on certain things that has to do with restructuring the structure of the road. So coming to the evidence-based local governance, so certain photographs could be captured, drones and interviews could be provided to persons within the vicinity of the restructuring of the road, and certain this information could be collected on probably daily basis, weekly or fortnightly, and be submitted to the necessary authorities for verification and scrutinization, and then would now serve as an evidence-based local governance. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't think I have the opportunity. I will have been the one to lead the clap for you. Yeah, I think you've really nailed it. Like when you are in local governance, you struggle with decision making. Let me just put it like that. And what does that mean when you are struggling with decision making? You have to set priorities. You have to focus on what is achievable at the moment. You have to be sure of what you are investing on or what you are putting resources on. So, just in a simple term, is even it's as simple as maybe putting something on scale of preference. Okay, like for instance, now maybe you are trying to improve power generation in the local governments. Okay, let me give you for instance now. We all heard of the abducted children in Ori local government in our states. And so pathetic situation, honestly. But if the chairman there has a resource, how can we unmute him? How can we mute him? I want to mute this person. Esther, can you mute yourself? So maybe the local government chairman or the local government has very limited amount of money on ground, and they are battling between providing luxury and responding to that emergency need. So if you call your technical team and you throw it to them that, okay, now there is maybe you want to construct a sitting place for people in the market at their waiting time, and we have some people in the bush. The thing about governance is that it must not be government with emotion. You have to sit with your team and see which one is the preference, which one is the actual one to get to quickly respond to now. With evidences, we know, okay, if we lose these children in this community now, it even demoralize the marketer, the trader that you are talking about, that you want to even give a change. Can we, Esther, who will mute Esther, please? So it will definitely, so it's better we take most of this investment and go and invest it on these children and get them back so that the community will be stabilized. Then we can now be talking about luxury later. That is, you did your thing based on evidence. Let me give you, for instance, there are health reports that comes out every quarter, and you want to take money to make people, oh, okay, we have around 100 million naira for the primary health care in our local government to spend on them. The onus is on the local government chairman to say, give me evidence of where we are going to use the money from. And they can come back and tell you, oh, we have very poor performance, we have more cases of complicated pregnancies, we have more cases of unskilled labor happening, we have more prevalence of diseases in our community. The chairman can say, okay, because of this, we are taking this huge amount of money to go and focus on this particular issue under health. That is evidence-based local governance. Just for instance, let me give you, even not going the line of monetary stuff, along that side, maybe you have a pastor within the community, excited within the community, among the people residing in that community. And eventually, this abattoir is already constituting pollution, environmental issues within the community. And you have opportunity to take the abattoir from that community to go and build another modern abattoir somewhere. So it's for you to call your committee and sit and say, do you think this abattoir is the best? It's best to have it here, which every community member they are likely to accept. Of that particular matter being in that place, and what does it mean taking it to another location? Through this, you'll be able to make informed decision and the issue that best bring comfort to the community. So, in this case, since Mustafa has assisted us in answering that particular question, and I've added some this thing. So, does data matter in this kind of category, and why does it matter? And you can give me an example. I want it to be scenario based instead of theoretical. Oh, the data is like I've given like 3 or 4 examples. You can take one of my examples and tell me why data and evidence matter in that particular thing to make decision. Team members?
Okay, can I still chip in something, sir?
Please go ahead, please.
Now, why data and evidence matter? Now, let me use the scenario I provided earlier in terms of the restructuring of the road in our immediate society here. So, the reason why data matters here is that now you can see what is the data itself in terms of the scenario is, taking photographs. Some could be done with some smartphones, and a more broader photograph could be captured using drones and what have you. And once these are captured, these are like physical data, and including questions like interviews with passerbys and immediate habitants of that particular area now, and some other required or data that could be collected, maybe with some figures, with technical devices and what have you. Now, once these have been collected, why does it matter? The reason why it matters is it gives pictorial evidence and a numerical evidence and humanity evidence itself, how to put it. So it shows that once these things are collected, it helps the government make protocoled and prescribed, or actually precision decision in terms of making future decisions in carrying out certain things. So you can see that once this is being collected, why evidence matters here now is that it will help the government understand what has been done, what is to be done, and what is currently ongoing. So with this, it tends to save time for the current sitting government, and it helps them and the society, make, like prescribed decision. And the last thing I'm going to point out here is that it includes the citizen in the government. It means it facilitates citizenship or citizen inclusion in decision making in government. So you can see that from that aspect, the citizens are not left behind. The government is also included. You can see there's going to be a kind of unity, and anywhere there is that form of unity between the citizen and its government, prosperity is always the cause and it's always the outcome. Take, for example, Niger Republic with their president and what have you. Thank you very much from my side.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I think that's awesome. That's awesome. So any other person that want to contribute? I don't like dot class. I don't like class where all of us are not flowing. So who are other people that are with us? Let's know who we are, the co-peddlers here, before we continue. So that I will know if it's only me and Mustafa that we are interacting.
Khadija, Farouk,
I can see Farouk Mohammed's hand,
Khadija.
but I want people to speak. I want people to speak, not emoji alone. Let me hear your voice just to know that we are. It's not only one person that is here.
Hello, sir. We are together, sir. It's just the network that is giving me issues.
Okay.
I'm not participating because I don't want to be creating a problem in the program because the network is, sir.
Okay, my network is breaking.
Yes, sir. Your network is breaking and on also is having problems.
Oh, Mustafa, is my network really breaking?
Actually, it was initially because I was using my Bluetooth, but when I removed the Bluetooth and I'm using my direct phone speaker, it's a bit more clearer. So he can also try that out.
All right. Thank you. So any other person that is still with us? I'm sure that we have two people now with us.
Yeah,
Let's try.
Khadija Abu, Paddy Friday. Can you guys say something? Okay, Paddy, your hands are raised up. You can unmute and talk.
Go ahead, Betty.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I don't know if
Good morning, Betty.
okay. So why I think that
Yeah, good
thank you, sir.
morning. I can hear you. Yes.
Why I think data and evidence matter in governance is, let me use, like you said, an example. So if a road has been dilapidated and I need to call the attention of the government, I can't just go and tell them this, that. It won't be factual. So I will need to go with something to present to them that this is real. So I could make a video of a certain kilometer of that road, get an interview with the community leader, traders, and passerby on that road to present to the government, to the local government, that this is the problem, this is the evidence, and they need to come in. So I think it helps in presenting facts, and it also pushes the government to take action. if they see the level to at which the situation is. Thank you.
All right, Betty, thank you so much. Thank you for that. So I hope others will do same, they will contribute very well. So uh um I don't know if this arrangement is okay, but let me say one or two things. Let me first talk about, I will come back to this process influence in accountability. So when you want to generate data and evidence for local governance now, so what it entails reliable data to inform policy and investment. It combines administrative data, survey data, GIS, citizen feedback and evaluation. It requires making decisions based on facts rather than assumption. And I think that's what all of you are talking about, says that if you want data and evidence-based local governance, it requires making decisions based on facts rather than assumption. And the how you have access to the data, it requires administrative data, survey, GIS, citizen feedback, evaluation, and the likes, a lot of all this. And it entails reliable data to inform policy and investment. So for everything you are doing, if it's fact, the assumption is right, and you have combined some of all this effort, you assist in informing policy and what and investment. So when you now look at importance of data and evidence, like all of you have mentioned, it enables transparent and accountable decision making, improve planning, budgeting, and resource allocation. Track progress and implementation gaps. It allows to track progress and implement and build public trust through measurable results. See, after everything, this last one seems to be one of the most important, whereby you're able to use that data to build trust through measurable results. You're able to show them obvious results, like what people are demanding for currently. The current government, what have you done? For you to feel you deserve what? The second term. The new government, the contestants, the opponents, or the opposition, what's your trajectory? What do you have to convince us that you can do better? So all these along the line, this speaks to the performance along the line, speaks to how people will trust. And this will definitely measure it. People are asking what the cost of commodity, what was the cost of commodity then and there. Though they are coming with evidences that the current economic policy or pattern seems to be better than where we were. So, and publication, like for instance, I'll give you example, federal government now publish the data goes to every local government every month, which is quite assisting the number one here. And it's enabling transparent. We all know what's going to our local government now. We all know what's going to our state now. And accountable decision making, yes, is making people, is making know that okay, even if you are defining an expectation on your head now, it will be based on what you think the LGA receives every month. So, and for the LGA, if you have figure of what was sent to you, and you have situation analysis data of the problem that's currently on ground, you'll be able to improve, budgeting, resources allocation, and prioritization. It will allow you to prioritize very well. So along the line, when activists are up to track progress and implementation gap, most of all these things, the data will assist you in doing that. So those are the importance of data evidence. So I have a quote here now that without data, you have an opinion. Without data, your best is to have an opinion. With data, it was public outcomes. I think this is clear. Without data, what's the best you can get is an opinion. With data, you have evidence, With evidence, you can demand accountability and improve public outcome. So just an interactive session with all of us. Has any one of you involved in any projects before, either supervision, either monitoring, either engagement, either supply? Maybe you are a contractor in your community, get a contract that, okay, supply. Has any one of you engaged in any project of that nature before?
Can I chip in, sir?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. I haven't fully worked into something else to do with a mega project. Yeah, but I've worked upon something that's with a small project that's to do with a company, and we've worked with data and we've analyzed data and where have you, and we've been able to see where we are and what we've done, the result, and where we're heading to in terms of the project we're handling. And but I also love to and I've gained a lot of experience in the aspect of that, which is also preparing me for mega projects upcoming shortly by the way level. So that's that, sir.
All right, all right, all right. So any other person, as I'm waiting for other people, let me ask a question, a follow-up question. If the report says 10 kilometer was completed, but the community says 5 kilometer exists, whose evidence do we believe?
Kindly come back again, sir.
If the report says 10 kilometer was constructed, and community says 5 kilometer is the only thing that exists, who do we believe?
Okay. Okay. Can I respond now, sir?
Please go ahead, Freddy. Always trying to speak.
Yes. I'm the one, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Please, Mr. Go ahead. Maybe after you, Freddy and
Okay.
Farouk.
Okay, from my own perspective, I would say we go with the community's evidence. Why? Because they live in the society, they live in the environment, they make use of this particular structure that the report is depicting to have been like to have completed beyond whatever. So the report could be faulty, but the community would not lie on behalf of what? What do they actually gain from lying that so these have been completed, whereas these have not been completed? And after all, it is to their benefit. So, from my perspective, I would say we go with the community's evidence compared to that of the report, because the report could be favoring whatsoever that has to do with. There might not even be a constant use of that structure which was depicted to have been completed. So, I go with that of the community's evidence. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. What of others? I saw some hands up earlier.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
As for me, I will believe no one. I'll do my homework, go make my research, and know what the fact is.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyone else? Anyone else that want to contribute to this icebreaker? So I think two of you are right to a large extent. Yeah, because the very good fact is that uh community might make mistake in the number of land available that they are talking about. And to engage governments to demand accountability, you must be up and doing. What does that mean? That means that you are going to acquire knowledge on that subject matter that you want to engage them on. So, and that is what I see that Reddy is trying to do. That can I have more information so that I won't go and look dump in front of them? let me go and do this thing by myself and be able to identify what is it. But all in all, one thing is that all of you are working on the data. Either you want to go and collect your own data, or you have collected. All of you are dealing with data. Yeah. So yeah, let's move to. So sources of demand for local governance, sources of data for local governance. So when you come here, you check. I might not be able to read all, but I want you to ask questions if anything is not clear to you here. You want to demand for sources of data from local governance. These are the sources I have. Administrative, you go to health, you go to education, Greek, you go and collect it, finance, revenue planning, commission. But when it comes to budget and procurement, you have budget, which are example of yours. You have budget reports, IGA reports.
What is that?
You want to ask a question? Kosasi, you have a question.
Yeah,
You
you are
can
not
mute yourself
listening.
with a question. Oh, you can mute. So, an audit report. Committee and citizen, we have several citizen feedback reports. We have town hall meeting, community scorecard, complaint. We have sector performance data. We have the PhD reports that consist of the LQAs and some other big reports, school board reports, water sanitation reports. Research and evaluation, survey needs, M&E, conducted by individuals and other people, digital space and spatial. We have GIS, remote sensing, dashboard, open data and source media, social media analysis. So these are the sources of data from the public system, which can pick any one of them. You can make use of them to access the information and data that you need. So just put this so us understand that when you are dealing with data, you must understand the kind of indicator that you are pointing at. So before coming to this, let's talk about where you're strengthening accountability. Eddie, you want to ask a question? Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Sorry
please.
for this. Sorry for disrupting you, sir. I want to ask, what are the procedures to acquire this data as a citizen? What are the procedures? How do I get data from an organization?
Okay, thank you. If it's a public organization, you can actually approach them in a gentleman and request, like, okay, they are open source. There are a lot of open source. Like, for instance, the earlier one I mentioned that the amount that federal government is giving to states is published all over, is online. There are a lot of open source data. States too are publishing their income currently now. And there are annual reports that are open source too. To have their annual expenditure, you can see your expenditure and the income there, and some performance indicator. They are all open. Most of them are open source. Some are exclusive, like some of these data come out from the technical working group, the TWGs of different entities. So we are close to the system, you request to the TWD to supply you. Like I know immunization now, most of the state TWG all around usually conduct their TWG per quarter. So you definitely find a way to see quarterly report of ministry to know what's happening to RI, what's happening to HPV vaccine and the likes. Now, the last one is that you can actually request for anything they make exclusive under the FOI law, freedom of expression. So you can actually express your freedom that you want to have access to this particular big document to check some things from there, and they must honor you because it's part of the government regulation that freedom of expression is allowed, freedom of access to some information from the public service, it's allowed. So you can request and they will give it to you. I hope I've answered your question. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, well done, Betty. So process in strengthening accountability, when you're able to have a clear indicator and target, you know what you're looking for, you conduct regular performance review using tools such as dashboard, you know, you promote open reporting and community participation and apply evidence to corrective actions. So when you want to strengthen accountability, the first thing is that you set a proper indicator. Just in a simple layman language, you don't want to bug yourself too much with monitoring and evaluation jargon. You can just say, what does success mean to you? That's your indicator. Success to me is, on this particular project, 30 young women are lifted from poverty into a sustainable means. And okay, if that's what you set out to do as someone in government, if you as an accountability partner, you visit your chairman, when you are campaigning, you said among your target is that you are going to lift 30 young women from abject poverty to sustainable livelihood. How have you done it? Who are the beneficiaries? And that is, you are asking based on one clear indicator. Maybe chairman stated that, okay, all the primary healthcare center will be equipped with essential drugs and a sustainable primary healthcare pharmacy across all the primary healthcare center. I go back to chairman and say, chairman, your promise is all the chairman, you have all the local government, you have all the primary healthcare centers, you are going to put a standard pharmacy there. This is how many years we have not seen it. That is clear indicator, clear target that you are discussing. So, and you must be able to conduct performance review. But they check always, are things better? Are there unmet need, which needs have been met, and the likes. Please promote open reporting and community participation. Yes, that's the freedom of, so that we can have access to the information. So any evidence, apply the evidence to corrective action. Like for instance, anywhere people are lacking, you can ask the question around why are they lacking and pass that information on to those that we review the system. So I've talked about the processes here. Then I go to the M&E indicator. Yeah, I think we have passed our time. Sorry. So the M&E indicator, what are those indicators that you are trying? How you construct the indicator? Just for you to know more about the M&E indicator. It's an in-depth something, but we can do this for us to know more about the M&E indicator, which is around, we can have a qualitative and quantitative indicator to measure data, and the indicator must be what specific. Your indicator must be measurable, they must be attainable, your indicator must be relevant and time-bound. That means, maybe just an example like what we have here. We have percentage of health units with at least one service provider trained to care for and reverse survival within a year. That is a clear indicator. You are measuring it for a year. You are looking for health units with at least one service provider trained to care. So it must be measurable, it must be specific, it must be attainable, relevant, and as well time bound. So that is something about the indicator. Indicator is simply what you are setting out to do. So I don't want to bug you with a lot of jargon, so that what you are setting out to do. What is success to you? So success to me is 35% of health units with at least one service provider trained to care for and reverse survival. If those are available after 1 year that you set out that you want to do it, you have a pass mark on that one. So just for us to have basic knowledge about the M&E indicator. And when you are trying to monitor a process or a project or a program, this is a life cycle that it passed through that you must fulfill. At the beginning, what is the nature of the problem that you want to solve? So when strategic planning, you draw your own indicator, and At the point you design your methodology, how you want to what get data to particular thing. Esther, you want to speak?
Are you sleeping?
Esther, you want to speak? Okay. So you design how you want to collect your data, and when they are implementing the project, you monitor, you collect your data, and after the project, you evaluate if you are able to fulfill the objective that was set out. So let's go to a few practical examples of using data to. So there's a first scenario here. Can someone try and read this out? Can someone try and read this out for me? The first scenario. I want people to hold it.
Answer?
Please go on. Please go on.
Road construction scenario. A local government budgets 100 million naira to rehabilitate 10 kilometers of rural roads. Do I need to continue to the end, sir?
Yes. Just on this number one. And now ask every one of us the accountability question required there.
Okay, so going to the data to use, we have contractor progress reports, GIS coordinates or photos, community feedback, procurement records, engineers inspection reports. So should I ask the accountability question there, sir?
Yes, ask the accountability question from all of us, yes.
Okay, now the question says if the report says 10 kilometer was completed, but the community says only 5 kilometer exists, whose evidence do we believe? Thank you, sir.
I think we have answered this earlier on. I think we've touched on this earlier on. Okay,
yes,
so let's go to the
course,
second. Let's go to the second one, please.
Okay, the second one, which is the school infrastructure. Now, the scenario is government builds 20 classrooms. Now, the data, we have enrollment records, school attendance, contractor completion reports, PTA feedback, school inspection reports. Now, the discussion here is success measured by the number of classrooms built or the number of children now attending school? No, thank you, sir.
So, who are you calling to answer the question for us?
Okay, I can see we have a lot of persons on the call over here. So I think I'll be going for, let me see. Yes, Sister Esther Madaki. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sister Esther, are you there?
Yes.
So could you please answer for us the number 2, the question he asks? Or you want him to come again?
Yes, please. Should please come again.
Okay, here is the question. Is success measured by the number of classrooms built or the number of children now attending school based on the scenarios we mentioned above under the school infrastructure? Thank you, ma'am.
I don't.
I think our network is bad. Page Friday, your hand is up. Can you answer the question for us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. I believe that success is measured by the number of children attending the school. Not just that, but also the number of staffs allocated to that school to teach those children. Thank you.
Moderator, do you want to query what Paddy mentioned, or anyone with contrary view from Paddy's answer?
Yeah, she should further buttress her reason.
Farouk want
Yes,
to
sir.
talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
For my own view, for a project to be constructed, it must have a purpose for the construction of the project. So, if the infrastructure was built in the school, it has to consider the purpose of the construction is either the government policy was to enlarge the building of the school so that it would accommodate the number of the students, or the school or infrastructure was built in order to attract or to invite the community to participate in the school. So it's two different categories. So it's the purpose of the construction that will determine which one will be the success of the programs or the policy, either the buildings of the new classrooms or the participation or the attendance of the students. Thank you.
But Mr. Farouk, I like this thing that you mentioned now, and you are heading towards Eddie's answer too. But all the information at our disposal here now, at all of us disposal here. Okay, let me allow Eddie to go first before maybe I will now. You want to say something? Yeah.
I disagree with Farouk because presently in Nigeria there are a lot of infrastructure, there are a lot of schools that the there are no teachers to take the children. Most parents don't take their children there because they know that the government standard is very poor. So instead they attend private schools and those infrastructures are just there. They're just sitting down, getting spoiled, nobody is using them. So you cannot say because there's a reason for it. You can just build an infrastructure without actually considering all the other inputs. Without the students, there can be no school. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, I'm back. It's like my point is not that clear. So what I'm saying, for you to determine the success of that infrastructural building, whether about the implementation of the building of the new school, new classes, or the attendance of the students, to my perceptions, that will only be actualized based on the purpose of that infrastructural building. So if the government policy was made in order to make or to attract the attendance of the students, so now the attendance of the student will be a focus. If the buildings is what is been lacked in that community, so that infrastructural building is the one we call the success of that policy. So that's what I mean. So in the government, in Nigerians today, building infrastructure is part of it. When you are going to the northern part of Nigeria and you are seeing how these common schools are built or are operating, you see that the poor input. Take example of any university in the north. Any university in the north. Look at the infrastructure that we have. Look at the numbers of the students attending the school. So infrastructure of good buildings is part of the one of the success in Nigerian educational system. Thank you.
Okay. Another hand. I saw another hands up. Whose hand? Edigwe. Okay, you want to go again?
Yes,
Along.
that's me, sir.
Okay,
Just to add,
let's wait for Mustafa, then Edigwe, then I will now wrap that line up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think the matter is a bit simple here, and the reason why it's simple is because you are not asking this question based on, I think you're not asking it based on a general term. You're asking it based on the scenario that we have here, and you are relating it to natural cause. So if you could check the question again, it says, is success measured by the number of classrooms built or the number of children now attending school? It's a two-way thing, and I think I'll need to support with or in concurrence with what Sister Paddy Friday said, because it's not just building classrooms, because building classroom has a purpose, is to have students well educated by adequate staffs with other factors being in place. That is when the success, the full success of the classrooms can be fully achieved. Because the classroom wasn't built for it to just be there. It is built for a purpose, and the purpose there is to have students, not just students, but pupils who are being catered for, taught, and given the best and the right amount of adequate attention required for them to be successful in terms of assimilating, comprehending, and implementing whatever has been disseminated to them. So also my point is also in line with what Mr. Farouk said, also because it is just something that is straightforward. What is success? Is it measured by the number of classrooms? If it is measured by the number of classrooms, today in Nigeria, we should have more than 65 million new doctors, or should we say nurses and what have you, because we have abundant of classes or abundant classrooms that are built. I can specify mostly to the north over here, but still the poverty rate is still low because of education is to alleviate a lot of things from the system, poverty and what have you, just like Your Excellency is doing for us over here. So the success, as from what I would say as the last thing here, is success is measured by the number of children now currently attending the school with, just like Sister Petty said, with adequate staff catering for the success of the students. And what is the main objective of the success is assimilating implementation by the students in terms of the knowledge they've assimilated and have been disseminated to by the staffs that have been provided for them. Thank you very much, sir.
Very, very, very interesting. I think let me just wrap this side so that we can get the other practical example. So if you want to go by this particular number 2, I showed you something earlier on, that your objective must be what? Your indicator must be what? Must be SMART. Success to this particular thing here, the first level of success and the first level of concern, which I know some advocacy would have led them to say, and maybe the advocacy is that there wasn't enough classroom for people to use. I think that was the first problem identified. Either is a lie or true. That was what they justified to now say, let's build 20 classrooms. You as an accountability partner, what you are going there to do is go and check if the 20 classroom is what? Fully built. And the contract is what? Fully completed. That is what? The first level of success. That is what? The output of the what? Of the project. Now, in which is something you can check at that instance. But as time unfolds, or as time goes, or as things move, you will now be beginning to query, what is the, has this increased or has this accommodated more students? Just for instance now, maybe some students were sitting under the tree before, that's why they built the classroom. Has it truly accommodated them and ensure that they are studying in a conducive environment? Or maybe just because of that, most students are not enrolling. Has it increased the enrollment? That's another level of success. But if you go and check the rationale for this, is something must have prompted them to say, or they must have justified the need for the 20 class, and they went ahead to build the 20 class. Accountability partner, you will see in the budget of Nigeria that they want to build 20 class. An accountability partner, you must go around and see that the 20 class were built with the type of table they mentioned, with the type of infrastructure. Maybe they want projector to be there, maybe they want AC to be in the class, they want the class to be well ventilated, 2 per seat, not more than 2 per seat. Everybody have the best of design. If all these things are fulfilled, then you have scored the first point. But when you now want to go to, we want to see what's the short and the long time outcome after you have marked the output, which will now be, are they really utilizing, or has it covered the deficiency identified earlier on? Maybe some students were sitting under the tree. Are they now inside the class Hope the class is not being used. You know, there are some schools that they've built 20 nice classroom for them, and the teacher just took over it. Even the students continue, they feel like this place is more beautiful for them. The students continue to sit under the tree, and they didn't make it for the students. That's another issue. Or maybe after completing that place, some schools are so stupid that they can even rent it out to some guys and be making money, and they won't care about the student again. Maybe the reason why they even set up that project was that they feel many people are not coming to that school because there is no infrastructure. So the second level, after building the infrastructure, another level of check is, as the enrollment level increase now, because we now have infrastructure. So that's another fundamental question. That's another level of question that you will now ask after that one. So all of you are right in different ways that you are looking at it. But one particular thing is that you must keep yourself within watch. If you, sometimes in M&E, we call something what you need to know. You have a lot, you have the potential of knowing a lot. But what is that particular thing that you need to know at this particular time? What we need to know at the first instance is that the 20 classroom budgeted for, were they properly built to the standard described in the proposal vis-a-vis the money released by the government? Another level of success, which will take some time, is, has it really solved what the problem identified earlier on, either student absenteeism, student uncomfortability, or low enrollment? That's another one that you are going to check after. In which, if you see the data source that they put here now, at the instance, you want to check if contractor have completed the book, you need to check what? To inspect what? School inspection reports. You understand? You need to use the contractor completion report and go and check if you go and do physical verification. Now, if you want to go to the second level check, you go and use the enrollment record. If most students are now coming to the school because of the infrastructure, if attendance has increased, and even look at the parent-teacher feedback. So that is the definition of success around. Like, we have level of success. That's why if you look at M&E framework, you have output. What's the initial output? And you have what? Long-time impact and the short-time what? Impact. I like the way you step the conversation, and I can see that all of us have our points well articulated. So this is another practical example. Anyone can just unmute, speak what you want to talk about. I think number 4 is the only one that have something to ask. So I'm looking for someone apart from Mustafa that will take this and read and lead us to in this kind of conversation, which will be the last conversation. Who will do that? Betty, are you trying to do that?
Madaki, can you
Why
hear me,
don't
please?
I go ahead, sir?
Madaki, can you unmute and take the question, sir?
What is it?
Madaki, can you hear us? Okay. So
Please,
unmute
sir,
and
I'm in a lecture now. Sorry, sir, I cannot be active.
Okay.
Alright, so let's take the question.
Betty is ready to do so.
Number 4, agricultural inputs. It is government distributes fertilizers. The data needed are farmers register, distribution list, GIS farm locations, yield before versus after, and farmer satisfaction survey. The question now is, how do we know the fertilizer reached the real farmers?
Yes, as an accountability partner, government already distributed fertilizer. You have the farmers register. What's in the farmers register? What are you likely to find in the farmers register?
Okay, can I get to answer that, sir?
Okay, please, you can go ahead. Let's hear from you first. Yeah.
Okay, the things you get to find in the farmers register is we get to see their names, we get to see things that has to do with the location also. We also have to get to see things that has to do with the age of the farmers. Also, we get to see the number of workers on the farm, and we also get to see the yield, maybe previous yield, if they have documentations for those things. Since we are going to be looking at the impact of the fertilizer on the farm, and some other things that has to do with that. These are the five I could draft out, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So now, based on all this available information, how do you know the fertilizer reached the farmer? Which one are you going to leverage, and how do you know that it got to the farmer? Is it you want to answer again, or let another person do? Penny, want to talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's hear from Penny first.
Okay. I would say from the distribution list, we'll know who and who were present to collect the fertilizers. Then from the farmer satisfaction survey, we will know who used it and how it was able to satisfy their needs. So I think basically from these two, I will know who and who got the fertilizer. Thank you.
So I like your answer, but I will give you a quick feedback, maybe before others mention their own too. So in M&E, you have to keep yourself within watch. The moment you try to know more than necessary sometimes, you will be able to articulate or get into the answer appropriately. What we want to know here, the first question, you've proceeded ahead into the next thing, farmer satisfaction. Satisfaction is another thing entirely. You want to know the quality of the product supplied, if it's really useful, if it works well, that's another thing. The first thing we want to know here, the fundamental question is, how do we know the fertilizer reach the what? The farmers. So,
Okay.
and okay, you want to go ahead, please?
Okay. Thank you very much. There. I think it's how do we know the farmer received or reached? I mean, how do we know the fertilizer reached the real farmers? And I think the answer there is we are going to make use of the distribution list. Why? Because before reaching out to the farmers, there must have been the collection of the names, just like the register you've mentioned. So you already have those. So those information already there, the age, their farm location, and what have you. So what we're after is, did it reach the real farmers? So on the distribution list, we have the names and the information of the real farmers. So through the distribution list, we will be able to figure out those who received, the farmers who actually received the fertilizer. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well done. Thank you. Then there's another thing that can be useful for you here. You know, the GIS is the Geographical Information System, which houses most of the geographical location of the farmers. So it's just like you putting the geo coordinates on your map, and it takes you to that place. You can even go directly and meet them in their farm and tell them, oh, and ask them these questions that you want to ask. Did you receive? Where are the evidences that you received? Do you have some pack here? Let me see and snap and check. I mean, you can come back and tell, like, let me give you, for instance, like what's happening with some of the activists online now. People like VDM and some other emerging activists, maybe established activists all around now, they try to fact check some things. Like there was a time Roots2Leadership, the journalist on TVC, traveled to Taraba State and went to the Mambila hydroelectric power plants that Nigeria have been talking about for so many years. He snapped picture there and tell the world that this is the level of work that is currently going on here. So in this kind of issues too now, you can decide to say you pick the list. Maybe on the list, you have a name that bears PEDI. You look at PEDI, you look at PEDI's geographical location, you put the GIS on the map, and it takes you to that place and go and meet PEDI in the farm. PEDI, like, there's a claim that you received a fertilizer. Did you receive? Yes. Evidence that you received. I have a pack here. You can snap and have it as an evidence. That is how data is being used as an accountability partner. Now, we have mentioned the use of maybe what? 2 or 3 things here now: the farm register, the distribution list, the GIS. Now, if you now want to test further, maybe Farouk can come in, you want to test further to see maybe you want to know if what the government is supplying is quality enough for that particular location or for the purpose. You can now go ahead and see, okay, what was your yield before the usage of this fertilizer? Oh, if I plant 13, maybe a ton of 10 kilogram of maize, before the use of this fertilizer, I used to get like 15 tons of maize. But since this fertilizer, they've introduced me to this fertilizer, if I plant the same kilogram of maize seedlings, now I'm getting around 50 tons. That shows that the fertilizer is more effective. Then you can run farmer satisfaction survey. Are you satisfied with it? Do you think we should continue with it? What do you think we should improve in the fertilizer composition? So it's got that out of the 5 tools that they mentioned here. Some serve the purpose of verification of receipt of fertilizer. The other one serve the purpose of how effective is the fertilizer, and even efficient too. You can ask the question of time. We have seen scenario whereby the agricultural intervention, people have been supplied fertilizer anti-clockwise against the clock. Maybe they give them an input that is needed in dry season during rainy season. I know farmers are here, they're already laughing. Or they give them input of dry season in rain season. So is it efficient? Is it useful? Oh, they gave me these inputs in all these days. I kept it in my farm. I don't even know, maybe it will survive till dry season. That is not efficient enough. So if the yield increase, you can talk about effectiveness of the input. So these are ways to be a strong accountability partner. I think maybe another thing I will add is you might not necessarily be an M&E or a core strong M&E person before you turn to an accountability partner. But when you understand these simple processes involved. Currently now, the president in the country is talking about some infrastructural thing they are working on. The Calabar Road, the Sokoto Badagry Road, like 6 or 7 million infrastructure. Now, if you want to be an accountability partner in this particular thing, you want to use data, not all these Twitter speculation or Instagram speculation. You can actually use your freedom of information to ask from the Ministry of Works that where is the level of work now? Or maybe you take him by his word, some of his publication during the Democracy Day, and you pick what he mentioned, that we have constructed 37 kilometers of road, this and this and this and this. You yourself can take that, okay, that's 7 kilometers of road, and you move to Calabar, Nigeria Road. If you have the resources and you are well funded, you drive, can you achieve 37 kilometers? That is the simple thing. And you can have this published and say, President, your claim is 37 kilometers, but eventually we got there, we found just only 15 kilometers completed. Mind you, watch the use of word. He can actually deceive. You can get played, or they can leverage someone's ignorance. They can, because there are levels to work in construction. The beginning of the work is when you even first clear the road. You understand? Mapping out the road. If in his word, they said, we have mapped out 60 kilometers. That doesn't mean that they have constructed 60 kilometers. So you have to, masses can hear mapped out 60 kilometers and feel like, oh, they have constructed 60 kilometers. No, it's telling you they have mapped out 60 kilometers. That was the case of Mambila Power Plant. Every time they talked about it, they said they've done situation analysis. They've done some sort of evaluation, not that they've constructed. So, but people took those evaluation, situation analysis to be like they've constructed. And many people are expecting light in the whole of West Africa. So, interestingly, you must be very you must be detailed. You must be ready to pay attention to every bit of communication, every bit of messaging that is in their report and release, just so that you be within watch. Because I can see this play out now. While asking someone that, how do you know the fertilizer is, you're already talking about what the usage of the fertilizer. They might tell you, like me as a government person, you can actually deny. It might not be within your design. The effectiveness might not be. You might not be accountable to the design. It's the contractor that handle the project. I don't know if you guys understand this very well, but for you as a supervisor in that line, getting to that place, it's your own thing. And actually, if the problem happen in terms of the effectiveness of that particular commodity, they can actually shift the blame to the contractor, and the contractor bear the brunt. And maybe the person you are trying to even catch, by all means, is not even it's not within your wings to catch anymore. And you will all even tell you, okay, no, this issue of public accountability, we are all in it. Let's face the contractor, and the contractor go and get things done appropriately. And that's all. But they have their own limit. I think to a large extent, if they are part of the distribution channel. So those are the things that you need to know as an accountability partner. Like, for instance, there are some PPP projects, public partnership. Government have their own design in it. The private entity that comes in have their own design. Despite that, the government has supervisory role in some of all these things. But you should know that while tracking, while ensuring accountability in this particular measure, you should be able to understand different entities that are involved in this kind of project. Just in case you get your findings, you are safe in pointing fingers to the right hand. Okay, and say, okay, the contractor contracted by the government failed to do the work appropriately. That those use of word makes it more civil and gives you the room to engage appropriately in an informed manner. So politicians are so smart to look for some messy things within your own communication and use it to nail you. That, oh, it's not a government constructed. So yeah, let's call the contractor. We are all government. Yeah, let's face the contractor together. And eventually, you try to struggle. But if you are able to articulate and you display some sense of understanding, yes, you'll be able to put all of them in that corner and be able to ask questions. And mind you, let's always go with a very pure, sincere, and objective for the purpose of national development alone, not to maybe antagonize. Let's see room in complementing what they do. Sometimes some of the systems struggle with capacity, they struggle with understanding, and they need people to support them in a short, and even information. Okay, let me give you for instance now. There was an argument in the government entity some times ago that this thing was not done, this thing was done, was not done, was done. Do you believe that because the person, the accountability partner, was so down to heart and actually bring himself to present himself properly, he was able to explain appropriately? And they later discovered that the mess in that particular project was from even the person designated to supervise the project. That particular person has been given the director or the directorate in terms of that in first thought of completion of the project. So the accountability partner was even able to help the ministry and the directorate to get the actual information, which their staff failed to give. Like, for instance, I sent my staff to go and supervise a project I conducted in Utako, which I can't be everywhere. And the staff continue to come with pictures, lies all the time. And it's documented that he has done, he has verified. We said it 3 times, he brings the same nice picture, and he told us that's done. By design, a director cannot be everywhere. And someone just walk around and say, director, you failed to complete your project. An argument erupted, and I showed him different evidences that we have completed. And we keep arguing that no. So eventually, my staff has already sabotaged the system. So you as an accountability partner, you are even an helper to that kind of directorate or commission to get even the right information that they have an intruder within their system already. So if we see ourselves from this side and we are objective enough, to reason along with the system, then they will be happy to welcome us appropriately and listen to us as required. So at this point, I think we can just move to general question and answer, and then we call it a day. So any question, let's interact, ask what you want to ask within the next 5 minutes. I think a 1 hour design has turned to 2 hours. So within 5 to 10 minutes, let's do this, or 5 minutes, and then we can, see ourselves in other forum as required. Yeah, Mustafa, over to you.
What? Wow, this has been one of the best modules ever since the onset of my participation. I repeat, my participation in this particular foundation. And I want to say you've done, if not the best, because this session was meant for basics and a bit of in-depth, and you've done justice to both. And I pray that the justice you've carried out in attending to this, may the Lord also serve you justice and every other endeavors you put your hand into. So thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your question, sir.
So okay, good. Now, what I want to say here is, looking at the what you've mentioned so far. So we would love to also get to, reach out to you and to also have certain discussions and mentorship in certain aspects. So I would love if you can maybe liaise with the moderators to help provide your social media handles so as to get a direct contact with you in terms of any support that could come out subsequently. So that's that, sir.
No problem. I'm typing my IG ID now, Instagram ID, and my email. I'm sending it across now. You see it in the chat box now.
Thank you very
I
much.
think that's fine, right? Yeah. So that's my email, and that's my Instagram ID. You just feel free to reach out anytime we talk. You can communicate anyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mustafa, for your active participation as well. It was a very good one, yeah. And other team members too, I sincerely appreciate your participation, yeah. So any other question?
Any question, guys? If you have a question, please kindly ask your question. It's time for question and answer. If you can't talk at the moment, you can use a chat box to ask your question. Then we'll read it from there so that our facilitator can answer the question. While that is going on, please don't forget to fill your attendance. It's on the chat box. And also your post-test form is also on the chat box. Please don't forget to do that. Is there any question before we move further?
All right. I think, we can meet in different forum program, different engagements, and still talk more and more and more. Thank you so much. And I wish every one of us the best in the journey of national development. Mr. Sunday, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Once again, guys, let's appreciate our facilitator, Mr. Afolabi, for an enlightening and impactful session. We have learned that data is not just about numbers. It is a powerful tool for promoting transparency, accountability, and better governance. Today's session has reminded us that data and evidence are the foundation of accountable local governance and better public project outcomes. So my own take home today is, without data, you have an opinion. With data, you have evidence. And with evidence, you can determine accountability. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and your valuable insights with us today. And I also appreciate all the participants for their active engagement and contribution throughout the session. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this session. Thank you very much, sir. So I think it's time for our group photograph, our virtual photograph before we call it a day. So please, if you have not filled the attendance form and the post-test form, please kindly do that now before we take the photograph.
All right, everyone, good morning once again. Hello, everyone, good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we
Okay, please
can.
let's turn on our cameras. Let's turn on our cameras for a photograph section. Let's turn up our cameras, everyone. Turn on your camera. Kuchi, turn on your camera. Please, let's do that. Please, let's turn on our camera. Amarachi, please turn on your camera. Kuchi, can you hear me? Are we together? All right, so I'll be taking the pictures in badges one after the other. So the count of 3, 2, 1. Please let's put on our best smile, please. Our best facial expression. Thank you. Yeah.
Amarachi, remove your hairnet.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Ogedengwe, your camera is not on. Okay. All right. Esther is just joining. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, can you imagine? All right. Um,
Are you done, sir?
yeah, I'm done. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for your time.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time. Today's session was wonderful and powerful. See you in the next module. Please ensure you fill your attendance form and the post-test form before you leave this call, because we will not post it on the group. We will not post the post-test on the group. So if you are here right now, kindly do that. Fill the attendance form and the
Please, can you
post-test form.
repost the test? Please, can you
Okay,
repost the post?
okay. I'll do that right away. Okay, I've reposted it. Please kindly do fill the form now before we end the call for everyone at once.
So, Brooke,